going to make some chili. Now this is a recipe that's been in my family for a long time. My mom used to make this. I've made this for some people and everybody seems to like it. Now either they're just being nice to me or it actually is pretty good. But one thing I like about this recipe is that it is pretty easy. Most of it consists of opening cans and dumping them into a pot and just letting it simmer. And speaking of ingredients, I should probably, right up front, I should probably address something. Some people are going to look at my list of ingredients and you're going to tell me that this is not chili. Now let me tell you up front, I'm going to put beans in this chili. I'm putting tomatoes in this chili. And there are not going to be any hot peppers at all in this chili. Now if you're going to tell me that what I'm making is something else and not chili, I have two things to say to you. Number one, there are different kinds of chili. And number two, if you think that your type of chili is better than what I'm going to make here, I'd like to see what you have. Please make a video of your own, post it on YouTube as a video response to this video. Instead of being a hot chili, this is, I call it a sweet chili because of the tomato and the additional flavor that will be added later. Stay tuned for that. So I think that's about it. It's pretty easy to make. Tastes really good. It's filling. And this is a pretty big batch. It serves about 6 people. Okay, well, let's stop talking and let's get cooking. Okay, so this is my list of ingredients. Got 1 pound of hamburger. I have 1 large onion, which I'm going to chop up into big chunks, about 1 inch wide. 1 large green pepper, largest one I could find. Again, chopped up into big chunks. 1 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes. 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. 1 tablespoon of chili powder. Although I usually put 2 in. I put a lot of chili powder in. Salt. About 1 tablespoon of salt. Half a tablespoon of paprika. Again, I usually double that up. Put in 1 tablespoon. The recipe calls for a dash of cayenne pepper. I don't have any, so I'm not going to use that. And then 2 15-ounce cans of red kidney beans. I'm going to be using some olive oil and then a collection of Italian spices like oregano, parsley, and basil. I'll start by chopping up the green pepper. Chop up the onion. One pound of ground beef. This is 85% lean. I like to break it up into little pieces and pre-brown it. I don't have to cook it all the way through because it's still going to cook when the pot simmers. I just like to break it up like that. If you don't want to use meat or I suppose you could use, if you're vegetarian, you could use some kind of meat substitute, or if you want to use chicken instead of red meat, you could chop it up fine, use that. Okay, this is the pot that we're going to use to cook it. It's a big cast iron enamel covered Dutch oven, I think it's called. And this is the beauty of this recipe. Pretty much just dump things into the pot. Yeah, the kidney beans have a they come in some kind of liquid. I like to drain that out and just use the beans and not the liquid. I do that basically because I'm not sure what this liquid is. And the first time I made this, I drained it because I didn't want it to get... I wasn't sure how much liquid, because there seems to be a lot in there with all those diced tomatoes and the sauce. It seemed to be kind of soupy. I didn't want to add any more liquid. So I drained the beans, and it seemed to come out alright, so I just keep doing that every time I make it. When you're browning meat, really the only rule is you just want it chopped up into little pieces that are brown on most of the sides. Just breaking that up into some smaller pieces. And that's good. Put that in. Put a little bit of oil in the pan. I just want to saute the onions a little bit before we put them in. Okay, that looks good. The goal isn't to thoroughly cook the onions, just to get them slightly translucent and covered with the oil, just to pre-cook them a little bit. And do the same thing with the peppers. Well, that looks good. Coated with oil, and they're warmed up pretty good. So we dump those in. Okay, so up till now, all that we've been doing is just dumping things in there. At this point, I guess I'll just mix it up. Okay, time for the spices. Like I said before, the recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of chili powder. But I usually put 2 in. A teaspoon of salt or so. And paprika. You can, you can never have too much paprika. Usually go pretty heavy on the spices. And that's pretty much it for now. I'll just cover that up. Maybe turn up a little bit. Let it simmer. Okay, this has been cooking for about 40 minutes. Let's see how we're doing in there. I probably should have stirred it a little bit. And that's a little too hot. Okay, so you should probably put it on medium heat instead of medium high. Good safety tip. And one thing I wanted to mention is that if I have any real secret to this that isn't on the recipe, it's this. I just freaking lace it with all sorts of Italian spices. Got some parsley. Throw on some oregano. Basil. I don't even measure it, I just shake it in there. Mix that up. I'm gonna turn that down a little more. Okay, now that I mix that up, we go for the second layer. And this one I just leave on top. I'll put pepper in there too. And more simmering. Okay, that's been another half hour or so. It's good to let it simmer total for at least an hour. Let's see how we're doing here. That smells really good, actually. Get it off the heat. Okay. You see how thick that got? It reduced down quite a bit. There's big chunks in there. I do like it chunky. Now, some people like to put some shredded cheddar cheese on it. I, however, do not. It's good with some nice crusty bread. I've got some oatmeal bread here. It'll be good with it. Some butter. You could also do like cornbread. That's good with chili. Let me try this here. Ah, it's delicious. Alright, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.